I arrived early because the roads were empty and my patience wasn't. Snow clung to the hedges outside my in-laws' house, the kind of postcard calm that lies. I stepped inside quietly, coat still on, gift still in hand, and then my wife laughed. Not the laugh she used with me, the unguarded one. "I'm 3 weeks pregnant for my boss," she said, voice light, almost proud. "He's about to be a father." The room went silent. Not shocked silence, complicit silence. Her mother murmured something about timing. Her father cleared his throat. Someone poured wine. I left quietly. I didn't drop the gift. I didn't confront her. I didn't ask why. Pain is loud. Planning is silent. I loved her once, deeply, stupidly. We met when I was building something fragile, and she admired the risk. I worked late nights, trusted early mornings, and put everything in my name and her future. I married her because loyalty felt mutual, because belief is intoxicating when you've earned it. Her boss entered our lives as a favor, a mentor, a visionary. I made the introduction. I watched him shake my hand too firmly. I ignored how quickly she learned his schedule. I dismissed the late calls, the sudden perfume, the way she stopped asking about my day. Betrayal never arrives as a punch. It seeps in like carbon monoxide. Christmas gave it a voice. 3 weeks pregnant. That mattered, because I knew dates, I knew timelines, I knew contracts, and I knew leverage. Her boss, the man who had just fired me 2 days earlier, thought he had won. "You're outdated. We're done here," he hissed across a polished conference table. I replied quietly, "Understood." He thought that was submission. That was the moment the retirement trust activated its voting rights. He never read the appendix. Nobody ever does. Years earlier, when he needed capital fast, I structured it cleanly, too cleanly. A trust, deferred control, silent ownership. I held 76% of the shares, wrapped in a mechanism that only activated upon termination without cause. He fired the owner of his company and went home smiling. I went home and opened a folder labeled "The Next 3 Weeks." We're mechanical. I hired a forensic accountant who didn't ask questions. I pulled security logs, hotel receipts, email metadata. There's always a trail when arrogance is involved. I visited a lawyer who specialized in restraint, not theatrics. We prepared filings, custody clauses, prenups retroactively enforced through fraud disclosure. Silence is cheaper when it's airtight. I watched my wife sleep. I didn't touch her. She was glowing. That hurt more than the words. Monday morning, the board convened an emergency meeting. The agenda was 1 line long. Ownership clarification. I arrived early again, this time on purpose. They looked confused when I sat at the head of the table. They looked terrified when the documents circulated. He arrived late, confident, still rehearsing dominance. "Who authorized this?" he demanded. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. "You did," I said, "the day you fired me." The room shifted. Papers rustled. Faces drained. Someone finally asked the question that mattered. Who just fired the person who owns 76% of the shares? No one answered. The vote was unanimous. By noon, he was escorted out of his own building. By 1, his accounts were frozen pending investigation. By 2, his name was removed from the website. By 3, his phone was blowing up with calls he couldn't return. That night, we gathered again at my wife's parents' house. Christmas lights still blinked, stubborn and cheerful. The same room, the same wine. This time, I arrived exactly on time. I placed a folder on the table. Inside, paternity filings, termination notices, a civil complaint naming both of them, screenshots, dates, times, proof. My wife's face collapsed inward. Her mother reached for her and stopped midway. Her father stood up and sat back down. Her boss, former boss, stared at me like a man seeing gravity for the first time. "I thought you didn't know," my wife whispered. "I did," I said. "I just didn't rush." I slid one final document forward. Custody waiver, contingent on full disclosure. Alimony nullified due to fraud. Corporate bylaws updated. Her affair partner barred from any executive role in any subsidiary I controlled, which was all of them. 3 weeks pregnant, 3 weeks too late. I didn't yell, I didn't smile, I watched the truth do the work. He left first, pale, shaking, reduced to a rumor in his own life. My wife followed, crying, reaching for a future that had already closed its doors. I stayed long enough to thank her parents for the wine. Then I went home. People ask if I regret not confronting her that night. No, confrontation is for people who want answers. I wanted outcomes. I didn't destroy them. I let them stand exactly where they chose to stand, just without my shadow protecting them. Betrayal taught me something valuable.